These 5 pit lane moments ought to haunt your thoughts for a long, long time. Number 5. At a Formula 1 Italian Grand Prix in the year 2000, German legend Micheal Schumacher was heading back to the pits after winning the excruciating 53-lap race, a huge milestone for any driver. As Schumacher was making his way back to the pits, all seemed well and in order, but things took a turn for the worst when this happened. An unexpected track invasion took place. Crowds of Italians invading the track of Monza before it was safe to do so, consequently exposing themselves to be fatally hit by the speeding Schumacher. In a seemingly stressful situation, Schumacher, despite his excitement of the win, miraculously managed to swiftly maneuver through the crowd just as smoothly as he did in the race, eventually making it to the pits, ending what could have been a lethal moment for many. Number 4. During a 2015 NASCAR race at the Pocono Raceway in Pennsylvania, American driver Brad Keselowski was involved in an incident he and his crew will never forget. As Keselowski was coming in for a regular pit stop, his brakes suddenly locked up, making them lose traction with the road surface. As a result, this happened.
They can run.
And it sounded like Brad maybe didn't. Oh, and you'd see he's just hit a crew member.
Unable to stop properly, Keselowski's tires skid, hitting 2 crew members in the process. As if things couldn't have gotten worse, one of the tires held by the pit crew member flew off during the disastrous pit stop, narrowly avoiding 2 incoming drivers. Fortunately, no crew members were injured, confirmed by Team Penske, even going above and beyond and completing the pit stop, putting a stop to what could have been a tragic ending. Number 3. During a 2015 Indy Grand Prix in Louisiana, Italian driver Francesco Dracone was part of a grave incident that to this day still leaves onlookers disturbed. Coming into the pits, Dracone's Indy car crossed over some water, losing traction and control of his own vehicle. What happened next is an unbelievable scene. Dracone's Indy car spinned out, with the side of his car hitting his crew chief Todd Phillips, who made a violent 360-degree flip before hitting the floor. In a shocking miracle, his crew chief escaped with just a few minor injuries, a small gash on his calf muscle and cut on his nose. All in all, things could have gone a lot worse. Number 2. During an Indy 500 race in 1981, American driver Rick Mears was waiting in his car during what seemed to be a regular pit stop during lap 58. However, in mere seconds, a crucial mistake emerged.
And it backfires, causing Rick Mears' car to burst into flames. This is a fire you cannot see. It's an alcohol fire. Both Rick Mears and his chief mechanic are alight. You cannot see it, but they are engulfed in flames.
Methanol fuel, nearly invisible to the naked eye once ignited, began to gush from the refueling hose before being connected to the car, inevitably covering a large portion of the Indy car in fuel. Once the leaked fuel reached the engine, this demonic scene happened. As crew members and spectators fled from the practically invisible fire in a panic, Mears' father, Bill Mears, having already pulled Rick's wife to safety, grabbed the extinguisher and put out the fire himself. Thanks to the fact methanol produces significantly less heat than gasoline, and Bill Mears' actions, it was a miracle that nobody was seriously injured, with the only significant consequence being a plastic surgery on his nose. Most shocking of all, Mears returned to racing that very same season, having a long, successful career, winning the Indy 500 4 times. Number 1. At the 1994 Formula 1 Grand Prix in Germany, Dutch driver Jos Verstappen was coming in for a routine pit stop during lap 18. As he came to a stop, a malfunction in the fuel rig caused a significant fuel leak, and as fuel was being pumped into the car as part of the routine refueling process, this happened.
There goes the fuel hose. A little bit of a problem. Is that fuel splashing?
Fuel spilled onto the hot surfaces of the F1 car, and thus igniting a large, violent fire. Luckily, pit crew members used fire extinguishers and took out the flames at bolting speeds. By some miracle, Verstappen remained completely unscathed, while crew members only endured minor burns in clothing, bringing this emergency to an ending that couldn't have had a better ending. If these pit lane moments made you gasp, then these 4 F1 moments ought to give you the shock of your life.